measure it flat, it contradicts that. I'm spitting flat facts and that. And I know you don't like that. Google Maps is flat, it presents elevation profiles like that. I'm a spitting flat earth king. Sentence has a ring, doing my own thing. If earth was a big roast chicken, factually finger licking chicken, we just got the measurements missing. I'm spitting eggs and begs, begging the question lesson. I've said it before, time after time. I'm the spitting flat earth king of rhyme.
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now, we are joined by Neil, Refracted Curvature, Len, and a whole bunch of people in the Flipside Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
How are you?
What's north? What's north, man? What's north? I mean, what's up? Sorry.
Standing up immediately to get away with my radio mic, and we're into something that I've got to sit down and discuss because it's from the pre-show. So yet again, me smirking and chuckling in the intro to the live show because I'm saying please don't swear while I'm calling somebody a see you next Tuesday in the pre-show. This is, again, Wayne from the Mapping Company. Never has a man fallen from such reasonable admiration, I'm not going to put him on too high a pedestal, to the depths of scumbag so quickly. Yeah? Apparently, this man, Wayne, has decided to venture out of his boring, fart-sniffing world of measuring how Earth is flat with millimetre accuracy from sea level to describing how gas with a 111-year out-of-date force is pulled down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash. Oh, my God. Wayne, if you're listening to this, gas is not attracted by any force of gravity from the imaginary sky producing factories for gas. No, there's no factories in the sky producing gas. It's produced at ground level. That's gas. Like when you boil water or it evaporates, it goes up away from the ground in a measurable vector perpendicular to sea level with an altitude we can measure with barometric pressure to describe its perpendicular feet or meters measurement from sea level. Earth's measured flat for the altitude of the gases that go away from the surface. They're not poured in from factories to go down, go boom, boom with a force. That's not a force, but you can think of it as a force. Let's just quote George Musa. Gravity is not a force. End quote. To pull gases down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash, say Wayne, the idiot from the Mapping Company, who's decided to now venture out of his boring, snooze-worthy measurements of the millimetre accuracy of Earth's flat surface from sea level and venture into gravity. Now, let's just update you, Wayne from the Mapping Company, you complete idiot. Gravity is a bent pseudo-Riemannian space-time geometry invented in 1915 by a man named Einstein and is not a force, end quote, George Musa. There isn't really a force of gravity at all, end quote, Professor Brian Cox. Gravity's not a force, we lied to you, end quote, Michio Kaku. There isn't any force pulling gases down to create barometric pressure that's higher at the measured flat Earth altitude at sea level. No. If you're getting your science acumen, which is something I've also been told Wayne is alleged to be professing to in this shit that's 115 years out of date, no, Wayne from the Mapping Company, this is not science. So again, here we are with some man who's copyright striking me, having to get an education in science, which he would have been taught at a much earlier age than the idiocy of gravity being a force. Now, it's not a force, end quote, George Musa, Scientific American. There isn't really a force of gravity at all, end quote, Professor Brian Cox. But what we do have is a methodology called science. That's the scientific method that establishes the cause, I don't know, maybe water boiling in a hot spring that you come across in nature. And that establishment or elucidation of cause when studying effects in nature is elucidated by way of a hypothesis. It's an if and then suppositional statement mirrored with something called a null. That's a zero difference result. Both simultaneously cannot be true. If A, then B, your suppositional causal influencer for, I don't know, water boiling, B being boiling water, the effect, and A being the causal influencer you suppose in a hypothesis. The null being, if the causal influencer you suppose is varied, it will not cause the water to boil. That's a full scientific prediction, otherwise known as a hypothesis when performing the scientific method, actualised by something called experiment. Not actualised by, well, gases pulled down by 115-year-old force that's out of date. No, that's not science, Wayne from the mapping company, who should stick to measuring... No, let's get that correct. Describing greater and more interesting men than he who have measured Earth's surface flat to the millimetre. You're not a scientist, Wayne from the mapping company. You're a moron. A moron who enjoys putting other men's income in jeopardy with copyright strikes on videos that have had 800 views because you don't like your ugly face being on a thumbnail that's specifically about you and you measuring Earth to the millimetre accuracy with respect to a plane of reference that's average called sea level, when we also measure Earth flat to acquire said master reference to describe that millimetre accuracy Wayne from the mapping company did not measure. What he has done, though, is describe to an audience incorrectly a force pulling gases down. Now, that's rain, Wayne. The rain comes down, the gases go up. You stupid idiot. Stick to boring the tits off people with how flat Earth is measured to the millimetre accuracy. Don't infer science. That would be the elucidation of the cause of a natural phenomena based on a hypothesis. That's the scientific method, otherwise known as the study of the physical and natural world, or physics. You're a map channel! What are you doing, you clown, other than copyright striking me, potentially putting in jeopardy my ability to feed my kids? Wayne, you newly baptised scum of the anti-flat Earth. Shall I send you a T-shirt with a Batman logo on so your copyrights can delude yourself into believing that you're fighting for justice when you describe gas go down, go boom boom and allude to it being science, you complete clown of a boring fart-sniffing map channel? No, Wayne. Stick to what you know when you stand on the shoulders of greater men than yourself who have measured Earth flat. Go ahead, whoever that was.
It was me. You said something about sending him a shirt. Do you think he'll know which end is north? I mean, up. I'm sorry. I keep getting those confused.
That's all right. Yeah, Wayne, in his idiocy from the mapping company channel on YouTube, has described how gases generally reach the top of things when they're poured in, go down, go boom, boom to increase barometric pressure at sea level when measuring Earth flat for altitude of gases that are produced at ground level and go north. Do they go generally to the top there, Wayne? Because I've got specific outlined instructions from this clown on the mapping company channel that generally north is the top. Is that where they're going? Are the gases going north? Are they coming back from hibernation? Is that what the gases are doing there? You utter clown map boy. Is that what they're doing? They're going north, those gases. Are they generally going north, Wayne? No, this is just me taking the piss out of a retard called Wayne at the mapping company. Why? Well, because generally he's a complete idiot. Doesn't understand cardinal directionality and azimuth when describing needles that apparently move, which means my field lines, therefore north up. It's at the top, right, Wayne? I hope you enjoy me, a flat earther whose income you put in jeopardy, tearing a strip off your stupidity with your 111-year out-of-date gas go down with a force. No, we lied to you, end quote, Michio Kaku. There isn't really a force of gravity at all, Brian Cox. Gravity's not a force. George Musa, editor of Scientific American. Well, who have we got to contradict this? Oh, it's a high school educated buffoon on a mapping channel pretending to be a scientist. Saying that it's... No, Wayne, no. They're not going north, right? They're going up. When you boil the kettle, do you see them go down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash? Is that what the clouds do, Wayne? Do they pour in gases to increase the barometric pressure? Is that what they do? No, you're just a newly baptised clown who thinks north, by fallacious reasoning of the false direction fallacy, is generally the top of something. And then juxtapose that with his gases go down, go boom, boom. Are they reaching the bottom there? Is that what they do when they come down from the imagination sky factories that Wayne's invented? Do they reach the bottom, do they, Wayne? Is that the south? When the gases go down, go boom, boom. Is that the south that they're reaching there, Wayne? No, you're just a stupid man with your boring fart-sniffing information having been used by a flat earther to prove exactly how accurately we measure Earth flat. To the millimetre, end quote, man who's standing on the shoulders of others who have measured Earth flat. That'd be Wayne, the newly found scientist. Like I say, Wayne, just let me know your address. I'll send you a Batman logo on your T-shirt so you can fight for the good of mankind, alongside all the other wanker, overgrown 12-year-olds.
Nathan, gas goes south, go boom, boom.
According to the mapping channel, yes,
John, when he
south is
said
where the
what's
gases
north?
go when they get poured in from the sky.
No, when you finished your intro, John was saying, instead of what's up, he was like, what's north? What's north? Oh, I'm sorry, what's up?
Yeah, what's up? I mean, the problem is for Wayne, I now absolutely despise you. You went, as I said in the pre-show, from a reasonable standard of just amicable man making his videos going, oh, this could be quite boring to you. Yeah. You, when you describe other men measuring Earth flat, is useful to me, a man who's been told to have his balls removed, jump off tall buildings so I can go down perpendicular to a plane of reference and die. Have my kids taken off me, have social services sent round, that I beat the living daylights out of them, or the police should be here. Yeah? That's what I get. I get endless copyright strikes. I've had about 30 of them. Wayne was just the last in a long string of wankers who decide that they're going to find an angle to threaten my ability to feed my kids because I've described their words when they measure Earth flat in this instance. Now, at the time, we were saying, oh, we don't want to cover these wankers with Batman logos who sniff their own farts and say things like, gas go down, go boom, boom. We don't want to deal with these complete bastards anymore. I'd rather deal with pleasant people like Wayne. Bang! We talk about an instant cunt is made. Yeah? That's flat earthism for you. Now, if you're watching this, perhaps a newly... No, you're never going to find me in a million years. I'm censored to all hell. You know, boring fart sniffers like Wayne talking about boring shit like maps can have 150,000 subscribers. Me, it'll take me about 12 years to reach 10 million views. That's what it'll take. A lot of hard work that could be put in jeopardy by some fart sniffer who doesn't like his own face on a video reaction video about him. Well, here we are again, aren't we, Wayne? Talking about you. It's just this time you've ventured into our lane, haven't you? Gas go down, go boom, boom. My God, have you only had a high school education in what they call science? Is it really the case that you didn't go to university and study the newfangled bent pseudo-Riemannian space-time geometry? Have you never heard of a geodesic, you stupid idiot who thinks he's a scientist? Copyright strike me, you stupid prick. Yeah? Don't like your ugly own face? Oh, right, okay, I understand. And now I'm going to chastise you. Yeah? Ask Thunderfoot how this works out. Has Thunderfoot recently made any responses to me? I made dozens about him. He said the same shit you did. Gas go down, go boom, boom. Yeah, I remember Thunderfoot pouring bouncy balls into a fish tank. He had about 2 years of us taking the piss out of him. And now here we are with Wayne doing the exact same shit as Thunderfoot. These people are so stupid. You're as dumb as Thunderfoot. The difference is he is actually capable of crediting himself with being a scientist. You're a fart-sniffing map channel saying that you're doing science. Now, the reality is neither of these two fucksticks are doing science. Nevertheless, at least Thunderfoot can claim he is by his certificate. What's Wayne got? Oh, he's got himself standing on a hill talking about other people's measurements of the land. That would be the Ordnance Survey, when he disclaims how boring he is. Yeah, you are. Yeah, at least you were reasonable up until the point that you struck me, threatened my ability to feed my kids, and then go on to start discussing flat earth subjects like my gravity and my magnetic field lines and my compass that means north is the top of something. Oh my God, how quickly these clowns fall to being just the same exact level as every other grown-over 12-year-old spastic who thinks he's Batman. Yeah, Wayne's just there real quick. I've never seen anybody fall down the hill of anti-flat earthism so quickly. Like, literally never, Wayne. It's a new record by a complete spastic. Well done. You take the cake for falling down the hill of anti-flat earth system as quickly as you have. Well done, Wayne, the mapping company. Anybody else want to tear a strip off Wayne the Spastic for his assertions that gas go down, go boom boom? Oh yeah, of course, I forgot the clouds are producing gas and pouring them in on us. All right. Meanwhile, I have actually responded to a personal email from this twat. That's Wayne, the mapping company. He sent me a suggestion that I should cover his idiocy with the wrong direction fallacy that says north is the top. Or bottom, generally. Now, this stupid fucking retard is testing my fucking patience. Now I'm having to deal with gravity and his stupid shit, akin to Thunderfoot's nonsense, where you pour bouncy balls, a solid, into a fish tank to say gas behaves like bonded solids. No, they're unbonded and move in all directions after being created at ground level and going up, Wayne. Now, this is the second time I've had to respond to you, but I've had a personal email from you that I have responded to, in which Wayne, the mapping company, personally challenged me to make a video about his use of the wrong direction fallacy when describing north as the top of something. I've responded to you. It's an affirming the consequent fallacy. If P, Earth a sphere, then Q, my magnetic field lines. My magnetic field lines, Q, therefore P, Earth a sphere. I've responded to you, Wayne. Now, I also put in a little request that you respond not to gas go down, go boom, boom, barometric pressure, but azimuth and altitude diagrammatically exampled in the email response I sent to you. Now, I wonder, is Wayne not also a fart-sniffing Batman t-shirt wearing boring-ass map channel? Is he also an abject coward who can't take responsibility for suggestions that he's had put back in response? Yeah, you suggested I do something, didn't you, Wayne? And I have done. Lest you be called a coward, you'll explain how the fuck the top of anything is described with azimuth, like I diagrammatically exampled to you, you stupid clown. I'm talking to Wayne, the mapping company. I'm taking great pleasure in tearing a strip off you for your abject stupidity when you say, generally, the top of something is north because my compass. Right, Wayne? Yeah, we dealt with that. I've also given you a twofer and dealt with your akin to Thunderfoot shite that gas is like bouncy balls poured into a fish tank, you dumb fuck. Now I expect a response in regards to how the fuck north is generally the top of anything, with a diagrammatical example of azimuth and altitude used in your explanation. Or I expect a fucking apology from this fart-sniffing, boring-ass, newly turned Batman t-shirt wearing wanker, with his copyright strikes, his gas go down, go boom boom, and he's generally having a north at the top of something. Yeah, Wayne, you stupid wanker, get a load of me.
So you're just not going to answer why air is thinner on top of Mount Everest?
Well, after it's gone up, what's produced it? All of the trees at the top of Everest? Is that where the gas came from? No, I'm going to go with no. I'm going to go with the only reason it's at the top of Everest is because it's gone up. How do we know how high Everest is? For the altitude of this gas that hasn't been poured in from above. Yeah, oh, we know it because we've measured the Earth flat from surface level with a tool called sea level. Oh, yeah, we do know how. High, that's up or top. Top. Familiar words if you're listening to this, Wayne, you stupid clown. The top of Everest, yeah? Yeah, we'll measure the millimetre accuracy of that from sea level, won't we? Yeah? Yeah, that's how Earth is measured when we describe the gases going up to the top of Everest, you say? Oh, well, excuse me, I'm a bit confused. There's a spastic called Wayne that said the things go down. Oh, what were they produced at the top of Everest? Was there factories up there producing gas? Oh, absolutely no vegetation whatsoever to produce gases. Oh, I see. Wayne's just a spastic out of his boring lane, not talking about the millimetre accuracy of the top of the land that we measure flat. Now he's claiming to be a scientist, talking about barometric pressure. Oh my God. Yeah, like I say, Wayne went from reasonable, just about, let's bring him down a couple of pegs, moderately amiable normie talking about maps to scum of the dumbass Earth. Real quick. Real quick.
Well, is there any evidence Earth can be measured anything other than flat?
Not according to Wayne at the mapping company. According to Wayne, we've measured it to the millimetre. That's how accurate we've measured Earth flat, Neil. Give this man a copyright strike immediately, I would say. What do you say?
Well, to me, it's obvious you struck a nerve, and the man's been contemplating these things. And he's troubled, Nathan, the same way anybody else would be troubled when they're in a religion and something contrary comes across their desk.
Yeah, he's got the same thing going for me. You can probably hear it if you're a familiar watcher of the show. This is me genuinely furious. Not quite as furious as when I have to deal with teachers. Yeah, people lying to little children. No, not quite. But when it's my own kids that are having the ability to feed them threatened by this man who now thinks, oh, it's all right, I'll just engage in this other man's shit. Really? What, so now that I won't respond to you because you'll copyright strike me if I do? Suddenly you've got the power of the Batman logo. Truth and justice. Gas go down, go boom, boom. Nom, 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 nom. Yeah, Rain, is that what you've become? You fart-sniffing cunt.
Yeah, we got to alter that statement now. It's gas goes south, go boom, boom.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful, Wayne. Oh, you're going to become part of the lexicon in that moment that just happened. So gas goes south. Generally south. Go boom, boom, right, Wayne? Do you feel like a retard, Wayne? I'm intrigued, because we're now going to label this fallacy of stupidity with you in mind when we say, with a very, very obviously discernment tone. No, we're taking the piss out of you when we go, gas go south? South? Generally south? To go boom boom from the factories in the sky, right, Wayne? You're stupid, man. You should have stuck to your boring fart-sniffing map stuff that you know is dull as shit. That's what you should have done. No, not send me an email. Is there any chance you cannot use my face? I've got these corporate gigs going. No, nothing like that. Strike immediately. Yeah, Wayne, yeah. You just became like every other wanker we deal with and have done for 12 years. That's it. You went from being reasonable to unreasonable right quick. And we know why too, don't we? Because you want gas to go down, go boom, boom, with gravity on a sphere. Yeah, the only reason you'd be saying that is because you've got a sphere belief that you need to affirm. With bent pseudo-Riemannian space-time. Oh, I forgot. Wayne didn't get past a high school level understanding of gravity. He's as stupid as Thunderfoot. He thinks gases behave like solids poured into a fish tank, doesn't he? Yeah, Wayne's just dumb as all fuck. Yeah, obviously Wayne was dropped on his fucking head by his mother. He's stupid. Thinks gas good. Do you not understand the difference between the behaviour of solids, liquids and gases there, Wayne? You're clearly not. You fucking claim to be a scientist. With this? Oh my God, how embarrassing for you. Yeah? It's a shame you didn't remain admirable. Yeah, it's a shame you didn't remain reasonable. Maybe send me an email and politely ask for your thumbnail to not have my face or your face on it. Yeah, you could have done that. You didn't. You became an unreasonable cunt immediately, didn't you? And then decided that you'd then engage in the discussion about Flat Earth, having taken a perceived victory through the copyright system. Oh, well, here we are describing what a fucking retard Wayne from the mapping company is. This video will have Wayne from the mapping company is a fucking retard in the title, because he is. He hasn't progressed beyond his high school understanding of gravity, definitely doesn't understand what science is when it comes to cause and effect relationships that describe or elucidate the cause of a naturally occurring phenomena. Now, he doesn't understand science, he doesn't understand barometric pressure, he thinks gases are poured in from sky factories, he's as dumb as Thunderfoot, calling himself a scientist, while his gases go generally south. Generally south, right, Wayne? Stupid spastic. Enjoy the taste of my bollocks, you fucking retard, Wayne.
So hold on a second. So we have to change everything. So the next time NASA puts on a show, they're going to shoot their rocket north, correct?
Is that where they're going, north? Are they going north, Wayne, generally? The rockets, is that where they go, generally north? To the top of the sky in the north? Oh my God! Wayne, hello? You are stupid as shit. I expect a response. You've told me. Generally, top, north, right? No, you fucking clown. What is wrong with you? Why have you got a mapping channel? Give him 150,000 subscribers and suppress me. Give me copyright strikes and visits from the police and social services. Yeah? Give me endless complaints made to YouTube. Say that I should jump off tall buildings and die, or have my balls removed. Now, the only people who shouldn't breed are people like Wayne, making society stupid. Now, gases, they don't behave like solids poured into a fish tank. Would you like me to give you a diagram of how solids, maybe bouncy balls, behave when you pour them? I've got a video by a fucktard called Thunderfoot to demonstrate just how wrong Wayne from the mapping company is when he incorrectly asserts that there's a force of gravity pulling gases down. What a fucking retard, Wayne. Seriously, just delete your channel. You're contributing to society becoming stupid, yeah? Now, why we would have to go through this with you, I don't know. Oh, it's because this cunt's copyright striked me and then feels that he's got the need to email me about stupid fallacies like the wrong direction fallacy and up the top of things being north. Why? I don't know. Just cunts out there. Cunts that think that they can threaten your ability to feed your own family because they want gas to behave like bouncy balls. Yeah. That's the kind of wanker Wayne is. That's correct. Very quickly, descent. Yeah, that would be going south, would it? When I describe metaphorically your descent into the pit of hell that is anti-flat earthism. Are you going south down that hill? Their way?
Is that in as well? So it's south, in, and down are all the same direction to him?
I don't even know who this guy is. I have to look him up. It says we're a small company running a navigation course across England.
Huh? Come back with that?
Do Wayne's customers know he's incompetent? Like he doesn't understand what north is? He's running a mapping educational seminar or anything to do with... I think maybe we should contact the people who govern him in some way and suggest that he's a fraud or a charlatan. He doesn't know what north is. How the fuck would this person have the right to teach people how mapping works? He doesn't understand how fucking north works. Wayne, I'm pretty sure we should start contacting some authorities. I don't know, like people who deal with copyright strikes. You know, authorities that might put in jeopardy your ability to pay your fucking mortgage. Because you don't know what fucking north is, Wayne. So we're going to need to contact some authorities and have you investigated for fraud, Wayne. You know, I don't think it's reasonable that you, a man who doesn't understand what top and north mean, because you generally think that north is the top of something, because compasses do that. I mean, if I was expecting this man to understand what azimuth is, I'd expect him to understand how horizontal the directions and the degrees with respect to north are. Now, this man's taking money from people to teach them about this stuff. I think we should have Wayne's job off him. I think I should start up a campaign to raise money to have Wayne excluded from his career. Now, I'm not going to suggest that he has his fucking testicles removed or jumps off fucking buildings so he can describe a perpendicular descent towards death, as I've had suggested happens to me when other cunts just like Wayne put in copyright strike after copyright strike, complaint after complaint, police report after police report, social services report after social services report. Why? Well, because Earth's measured flat to the millimetre accuracy, says Wayne from the mapping company, who doesn't understand what north is. How dare this man teach anything to do with mapping? He thinks generally the top of things are achieved when he describes north horizontally with azimuth. I don't think Wayne should be taking money off anybody ever again for this. I don't think Wayne should be dealing with maps. I think he should be demanded by a justice system to remain at least 30 feet away from all maps because he thinks north's the top. Yeah? So, Wayne, I think this is getting a little bit more too serious. You shouldn't be taking money off people, you fraudster. Yeah? Do you not understand that you should be of a certain education standard about the thing you're taking money off people for when you describe north? Sorry, just had a moment of spastic there when I was trying to point north and generally my hand went to the top because that's what this man taking money off people to teach him about mapping said. He also seems to think that gases generally go to the south when they're poured in from the sky factories when he's playing scientist. Now, Wayne from the mapping company is a fraudster, a scammer, scamming people with false information that he doesn't understand. We've proven he's a fraud. Needles aren't pointing to the top of anything, Wayne. You know, we've had to explain this. I've got the evidence to show how stupid you are. It's in front of me. I'm going to read my reply live on air. This is what I had to send in response to this man proactively contacting me to make sure I understand how generally north is at the top of something. Yeah, he proactively contacted me and suggested that I make videos about it. Now, I'm not making any suggestions. I'm making demands that this man has his job taken away from him. I think it's only reasonable that a man who doesn't understand what north is shouldn't be teaching anybody about mapping. Anybody disagree? That's not rhetorical. Anybody disagree? A man who doesn't understand north shouldn't be teaching anybody about maps, should they?
Well, hold on a second. They are in a heliocentric system.
No.
And until the world wakes up, he's only teaching what he thinks is correct.
No. His religion in heliocentrism has nothing to do with people's lives being lost if they get lost based on maps that are comporting to field lines in a religious belief that this man holds. No, you shouldn't let your religion interfere with your mapping. And he has. He's let his religion of field lines on a ball being generally the top interfere with what north is on maps. Now, that's it. No, I don't think there should be any warnings. I just think he should have his job taken off him. Now, not because I'm being a wanker, not because I've got my face on a thumbnail with 800 views. No, that would be like unreasonable. Like a totally extreme measure from a cunt. No, I'm saying you're potentially putting lives in danger. If someone gets lost because they don't understand how fucking north isn't the top of anything, if they don't understand that because a man taking money from them is frauding them with his misapprehensions about how fucking compass works, then that's potentially putting people's lives at risk. People use maps so they don't get lost and die. Now, I'm not going to stand for this Wayne idiot pretending to be a scientist when he describes gases like they're solids, or pretends he knows what north is when he's taking money off people fraudulently. I think Wayne should be stripped of his job. He should be demanded by courts to not come within 30 feet of any maps, and he certainly shouldn't be taking money off people for it. How dare he? The fraud. How does this feel, by the way, Wayne? You know, when you're watching this, like, no, don't get involved with my job. You'll probably sniff your own farts and say, I'm self-employed when I scam people with maps.
Really, give me a spray.
Neil, you're off mute.
Sorry.
Nathan, sorry to interrupt. It's not like we've not given him a chance regarding, we've sent in the source and the citations and the information describing now north is a cardinal horizontal direction. And he just automatically deleted all that, so he didn't want that evidence to be seen by any of his viewers. You know, I even sent it again just in case there was a mistake, and then I was permanently deleted by the looks of things. So it's like we've tried to correct him nicely and give him the correct information, but for some reason he doesn't want to see that truthful information.
He just wants to scam people into giving him money for something he doesn't understand. I'll just read out his email to me when he suggested I should be making videos. I mean, I expect the same in response. I have responded to this man who's frauding people for money when he doesn't understand what North is. Just a quick one. I got an email from one of your subs last week. Not sure if they're male or female. Said many of my videos are wrong as I point out the compass needle dips and show this happening in a video. They said that proves compasses don't point north or south, as north or south are straight lines from some location. I pointed out to them that north and south are just directions, which follow a magnetic field line. These lines generally, but not always, point to the top or bottom. Sorry? Did I read that correct? Point to the top or bottom? No, that's not what north or compasses do, Wayne. You definitely shouldn't be taking money off people for this. Yeah? I think I'm going to make it my mission that you get prosecuted in a courtroom for being a fraud if you don't understand how north works with azimuth and degrees, because you think... I'll just read it one more time. I pointed out that north and south are just directions that follow a magnetic field line, and these lines generally, but not always, point to the top and bottom of Earth. Oh, wow. No, you're a con man. You've just decided to introduce your religious faith into something that might cause people to die, Wayne. So you shouldn't be dealing with maps. You definitely shouldn't be charging people for money for your services, because you're bunk. You're just stupid. You don't understand what north is. You don't understand azimuth. Now, I've challenged you to show that I'm wrong about this by giving you, which I'll get to in a minute when I read my response, a diagrammatical example of what azimuth and altitude are. Altitude would be the representation of when you get to the top of something, 90 degrees, zenith, things like that, perpendicular to a plane of reference that you can measure for directionality in azimuth. But you think that generally, but not always, north's referring to the top of Earth? You're wrong. You shouldn't be taking money off people. It is that simple. There's no other way to describe it. Just find where I was. Point to the top or bottom of Earth. Wrong. But whichever way they point, they don't point to the top of anything, Wayne. You've obviously never used a compass. Yeah? Whichever way they point, there is no gap or break in the line. The always come out of a magnetic and eventually go back in again. Terrible sentence. The reason for this... Nobody asked you. I wasn't asking for this unsolicited information. You copyright strike me, you total cunt. The reason for this is some magnetism or is always in a closed loop and has to come out somewhere and go back in somewhere else, so it must be curved. They answered that I can't be in a loop. Terrible sentence. As the world is flat. I didn't reply. This, says Wayne, would be a good topic for you in a video. Wayne. Oh, right. Yeah, it's an affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy. If my magnetic field lines, yeah, I covered it earlier. Meanwhile, I did respond to Wayne with diagrammatical examples. I'll read this out now. Vexatious copyright claim and the wrong direction fallacy. Dear Wayne, a man who made a claim against my channel which I used to financially support my family. Thank you for your unsolicited email following the conclusion of our business regarding the use of your face on a thumbnail used for a video reaction about you specifically. You think north is generally referring to the top, vertical, perpendicular to a plane, do you? See wrong direction fallacy at the bottom of this email. That would be a vertical direction. Then I cite, the four cardinal directions or cardinal points are the four main compass directions, north, south, east and west. The corresponding azimuths clockwise, horizontal angle from north are 0, 90, 180 and 270 degrees. The term top, new citation, the term top simply indicates vertical position and does not inherently define orientation. It can refer to the highest point of a vertical object. End citation. Directions are 2D, as are map scales, miles, and the horizontal measurements of distances shown on the maps. We have perpendicular altitude changes in topography, according to you, accurate to the millimetre when measurement of the quote-unquote top of the ground is made, detailed with measurements from sea level, together with mean sea level itself. Do you need me to cite what azimuth means, you stupid man? It's flat. Not generally, or just. Flat. Always and without exception. You just come across as a complete weasel when you use words like generally. That's scumbag weasel language used by idiots. Azimuth is horizontal. No need for generalisation when we detail facts about measurements. Then I cite, azimuth is a horizontal angle measured in degrees clockwise from north 0 to 360 degrees that determines the direction of an object on the horizon. It is essentially a compass heading, north being 0, and then it goes on. Key examples: navigation and hiking, setting a course, taking a bearing of 315 degrees southeast to reach the camp. Does horizontal generally mean the top? Or are you just stupid, Wayne? Go buy a compass. Look at it. It's not measuring the top of anything, you stupid man. Top being a flat earth only description perpendicular to horizontal. A ball has out and in, and you create the globe earth religion of ball surfaces with flat measurements of angles to stars from the surface level used after measurement of the surface level on the equatorial plane inside a ball. So it can function with azimuth, flat, for direction and altitude perpendicular to a plane to establish where the top of things are. Always. Generally, fart-sniffing smug bastards will seek out ways to affirm their ball bias with stupid nonsense that you, Wayne, use to work outside of the practically applied conventions like 2D flat directionality and altitudes perpendicular to a plane of reference because magnetic field lines, therefore ball, you stupid religious clown trying to confirm your ball religion. Then I put a diagram that shows observer with a azimuth and horizon on the same line and perpendicular zenith with celestial meridian describing a azimuth and altitude system with an effective dome around an observer who's measuring an angle. That's what I diagrammatically show to completely annihilate the stupid shithead Wayne's assertion that the top of something's represented when you describe north generally. My God. Then I point to the diagram. Hold on, I'm not done. Is this north generally at the top? No, you stupid man. It's absolutely flat without question. I suggest you use this diagram to make a video about how north is generally at the top, so we can all laugh at you. I understand this must be very difficult given your limited understanding of English words like top when using it in the context of the convention of direction. Don't strike me, then think I desire videography suggestions from you, based on random people who contact you and your failure to understand how measurements get you to the top of the land, which has had a survey, not by you, for its height. What kind of fool are you? Earth is measured flat with a compass. You fail to comprehend the difference between azimuth and altitude, both being flat Earth prerequisite measurements. Unless a horizontal angle is generally pointing to the top, a vertical description, you clown. Look up cognitive dissonance, you stupid man, who gave me a copyright strike and threatened my ability to feed my kids. I hope you get blown off the top of a cliff. Cliffs having perpendicular altitude measurement from sea level and accurate to the millimetre. Don't email me again with your dumb suggestions based on random people who contact you and are not my kids, who I like to be able to feed with the revenue you saw fit to threaten. Earth is measured flat with a compass. You level this tool to a reference that's 2D, and you measure degrees in the horizontal, you idiot. Feel free to join my live show via the public link and tell me that azimuth and compass directions are generally referring to the top of something, you stupid idiot. I can then call you dumb for an audience and feed my kids with the revenue generated from your cognitive dissonance and idiocy. Top From a compass? No, you are very much mistaken, you stupid man. And then I quote, the wrong direction fallacy in mapping, specifically the assumption that north is up on a 2D map, is a cognitive and cartographic bias that mistakenly conflates a direction coordinate with a vertical orientation. End citation. New citation. A directional coordinate with respect to the 4 cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west, is a measurement system that defines a specific location or bearing based on its orientation relative to these fixed points, often using angular degrees. Earth is measured flat. North is not generally up. You fallacious using moron with a religious globe faith. Sincerely, Nathan. Open brackets. A family man with 2 small children trying to make a living who constantly gets bastards like you making claims against his main source of income. P.S. Your claim was about the 30th I've had to deal with in 12 years. You fart-sniffing, fallacy-using, smug bastard who doesn't understand what top means when referencing 2D directionality measured in horizontal degrees and used in practical application for measuring flat Earth.
That was awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, that's
How
what you get.
embarrassing must it be to have a mapping channel and the mapping guy and call yourself a mapping guy when you don't know what direction is and you don't know how a compass works? I mean, come on.
I would like to know what he thinks that a compass is dipping from and to.
Yes, if you're going to describe how a compass dips, end quote, Wayne, idiot from Mapping Channel, you're going to describe that dip with respect to a horizontal plane of reference also. How much it dips is its deviation from the horizontal plane of reference.
Which is Earth.
Yes, like when you level the compass in the first place.
Well, I had the same problem in TFE. Everybody has the same problem, but are we becoming the monster? Because remember when they got Mullen fired, right? So, I mean...
Yes. Let me just answer that. Yes. I will and do become a monster. Yeah? Now, I identified this when we covered it a couple of days back as this being my weaknesses. Yeah, but that's the problem. When you force somebody into a corner, now for me, it's a financial corner. That is to say, this arsehole has threatened my ability to feed my kids. Yeah, then watch me turn into Wolverine and scratch your face off. Yeah, that's what happens. You turn into a monster. That's what happens. So if you're sitting there going, why are you acting like this? Clearly, when the people on your panel are identifying that you've hit a nerve because this man's obviously reacted to the flat Earth information, the directionality on compasses, flat. The altitude perpendicular to a flat plane of gases that are going down. Yeah, he's obviously responding, he's reacting to these things that you cover. Yeah, he is, yeah. But in so doing, he's had to put me in a corner with copyright strikes so he can feel confident enough to do so. Yeah, that's going to turn me into an absolute monster. Yeah. That's when I describe metaphorically me wanting to stamp on people's heads. Yeah, when you threaten somebody's ability to feed their kids, they get incredibly defensive very, very quickly. That's correct. Yeah. Now, it is a failing. I'm not pretending this is somehow admirable, but that's just how fathers of daughters behave when you threaten their ability to feed them. Yeah, they're going to react badly. They're going to react with outrage and sometimes with aggression. That's me. That's me and my reaction now. I know it's a weakness. I know it's a monster, but I can identify them. I can weaponize them. I can turn my absolute feather-spitting vitriol towards this complete cunt called Wayne from the mapping company into an education for an audience through the disdain. Yeah? That's what I can do. I can use Wayne as an example, just like I did with Thunderfoot. The only difference is Thunderfoot didn't copyright strike me. He's still stupid. He still thinks gas go down, go boom, boom, go splash, splash, just like Wayne. These two fart-sniffing morons. It's just Wayne behaved very differently to Thunderfoot. Now, meanwhile, we're going to adapt our former rhetoric of gas go down, go boom, boom. No, thanks to Wayne from the mapping company, he'll never live this down. Yeah? Gas go south, go boom, boom. Right, Wayne? Generally.
So I don't know who this guy is, but I just looked him up. So his company's called Map Reading Company. But I'm not sure. Is this guy teaching you what the map of the Earth is, or is he teaching you if you get lost how to survive? I don't get that.
That's what maps are used for.
So this guy's gonna teach me that if I get lost in the jungle, how to find my way back, basically.
I mean, you identify that generally north is the top. That's what you do. I mean, if you're a fraudster like Wayne, ripping people off, then your religious belief clouds your ability to teach someone how to use a map. The map reading company, what's he reading? Is he reading out generally the top of things as identified with north on a compass? That north that's pointing up when you describe its tilt with respect to a plane of reference, right, Wayne? You're a fraudster. Why are you conning people, Wayne? Why are you a con man? You're a confidence trickster. You obviously don't understand north, yeah? So why are you ripping people off? I don't get it. It's a scummy move. I think we should get the courts involved. I think this man should be deprived of making a living. What do you think?
Also, Nathan, what he does, to the other gentleman who just said something, on some of his videos, he shows people how to use a compass and use a map and get your bearings. Yeah, he will demonstrate how you hold the compass out in front of you, parallel to the surface level, and then you're using a 2D map and the grid reference, to work out distances and get from A to B. So when he's demonstrating this, it's being demonstrated as it is, flat, level, horizontal, and the compass is being used correctly. When he's challenged on anything, he changes his tune and says, well, we're not actually doing that, even though I've bloody demonstrated it on 10,000 videos. It's due to magnetic fields, and the Earth is a globe. I'm just showing it horizontally because it's easier.
Yeah, like I say, he's letting his religious belief in heliocentrism cloud his judgment when it comes to paying customers, because apparently what he teaches isn't how it is, because it's just easier. Well, no, Wayne, it's not easier to describe north as being the top of something. That's just what stupid idiots like you do when they're exercising a religious belief in a globe-shaped Earth that they hold to be true, in defiance of the actual measurements of Earth with azimuth. Do you say when he helps people get their bearing, do they get their bearing? Is that what they do? Like north being up and all? No, he's just a scammer. He's a fraudster. He's a con man. Wayne from the Map Reading Company is a con man.
Nathan, we have somebody in chat named Navigate Where. He has a question. Can Nathan read
Stop.
the...
No, I don't want to hear it. If you've got a question for me, don't be a chat skank, right? Now, Wayne can get away with it. He's got 150,000 emails. When he sends me a request for what I should respond to, I'll respond to him because he has at least got a modicum of respect. Because when he makes a demand of me to make a video about north being up generally, and I respond to him, I can then look down the barrel of this camera and say, well, I hope you're going to respond to azimuth and altitude diagrams I've sent you, man with 150,000 subscribers. I will put a link in this video to you, Wayne. But as for this guy in chat, no, you've got a public link. It's at the bottom of the video. You're in my chat. You're listening to me call you a coward like I'm going to be calling Wayne a coward if he doesn't make a video response about azimuth and altitude and how the fuck north is generally the top of anything. That's what I get when I extend responses to emails. You in my chat skank comment section live can join. There's a link. Join. Don't get Neil to respond to what you've read. Yeah? Join if you've got a question for me.
You know they're not going to join, Nathan.
Yeah,
okay, no worries. Well, then they are cowards. If you've got a question, there's no brave pills needed. You've just got a question, right? That's what I heard. Somebody from the chat's got a question. You can come and ask me a question. Asking things isn't going to get you in trouble, is it? It's a question. So you don't need brave pills. Yeah? Or do you? Oh, you're scared of me. Yeah, I know you are. You all are.
I mean, if it's about navigation, you could always contact Wayne and ask Wayne.
Well, the thing is, Nathan, they got this this nonsense that they spread all over the internet, that every time somebody tries to come in to set you straight or put you in tune, all you do is shout at them.
Really? Oh, so you can just ignore Me addressing that I've been told by a map reading company channel that North is generally the top of something. That's me shouting. Yeah. If Wayne was here, I would absolutely chastise that con man fraud who's extracting money from people for mapping information when his incorrect assertion is that North is the top. Yeah, I'd scream at him, yell at him, and call him a fraud. Oh, well, that means you're wrong. Give him your money then, yeah? Give him your money so he can teach you how magnetic field lines means a level two-dimensional directionality from a compass means generally the top of something. You can do that. You can ignore me, and based on my demeanour when I yell at people for being frauds, you can do that. Yeah? Well, I mean, we were in court and he did murder the man, but the guy who's very upset about it did scream at him. So I think we should let him go. Murder or otherwise, his accuser did yell, let's be honest. The dumbest thing I've ever heard. What that actually means is you are all terrified of me. I know the score here, yeah? I know why you need to lash out. I said it yesterday in the live show. Yeah, you need permission. And your mind, you get permission when you show me to be wrong. Now, you're too cowardly to join a public show, so you'll make your little response videos, which I gave up on watching it a long time ago. Couldn't care less anymore. Just cowards. Fart-sniffing, Batman T-shirt wearing cowards. That's all you are. Yeah?
Nathan, they're terrified of you because of the information that you are putting out. Terrifies them because now they have to address something. They have to address what's going on internally in their mind when they're presented with something as simple as the Earth being measured flat, directionality, compass. You know, you hold the compass, you know damn well where north is. For some reason, you start to say up and south is down. But when you're holding a compass, that's not what it says. So it's strange because you're challenging them, but instead of, let me look into this, they want to attack.
I've actually got to make an apology. I can't believe I'm having to do this. I've just looked this up. Wayne's actually correct. Gas does actually go south for the winter.
That's funny.
Yeah, horizontal direction from our measured flat Earth.
But they gotta do a deep search. They gotta look internally at what's going on. I mean, this topic is out there. It's in your face. It's right there. And now when you're coming with somebody saying, wait a second, you're talking about a measurement here? Because they know what measurement means. When you measure something, you know what that is. So it's a very scary time for a lot of people.
Well, you've done typical, hasn't it? Like, you've seen the measurements, you've been challenged, your head's sort of going over this evidence of direction and horizontal and Earth's measured flat. And then how's he going to get out of this? Well, you've got the magic word gravity. You can always pull that out of the bag, or try to. And then invisible magnetic field lines, we'll try and use that one. Anything we can pull out the magic hat to just get rid of that evidence of the horizontal baseline, we'll try anything.
Yeah, it's scary for them because now their whole worldview is challenged. And instead of looking into it, they want to brace against it. And the person that is saying the most devastating thing that can be said. Now, you could argue about gravity. Nobody's going to bother you. You could argue about Coriolis, and they'll argue right along with you. But when you say measured, we must take him down.
I've never understood this, guys. I mean, if, I came in realizing the Earth was flat in my own way. I'm not going to go into the story, but if somebody would have approached me as a glober, as me being a glober, and put this evidence down, I'd be like, wow, I need to bloody have a look at this. This looks like it's fucking truthful, and I need to make some inquiries. This is mind-blowing. Give me some more. That's how I'd be.
Yeah, the old school rhetoric of ball belief. Forget about people bracing against it, so-called flat earthers who say we're not on a ball. To believe you're on a ball, the first fundamental principle you must understand is horizontal linear measurement in miles. You're going to have every single aspect of heliocentrism based on an extrapolation from horizontal mile distances alleged to be congruent with sphericity after they've been extrapolated into sphericity. So, for example, if you're going to assert a distance to a geometric physical spheroid for a horizon that's Earth curve, you need to understand how distances operate. If you're going to understand how extrapolations in mathematics at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's measured height off sea level work, then you first need to understand how to measure your height off a flat Earth from sea level that's been measured flat. So there's several flat Earth prerequisites that you must understand before you can understand how those flat measurements can, in your mind only, make the world a ball. You need horizontal surface level. If you're going to measure an altitude from it, it's got to be averaged with a reference. That's sea level. That's a plane. Now, if you're going to measure a distance with respect to said plane, you'll measure it in miles, horizontal and linear. If you're going to measure an altitude, you're going to measure it perpendicular to the plane of reference. If you're going to infer that there's a geometric horizon below the surface level, then you need to measure a depression angle from a parallel eye level, parallel with surface level. These are all axioms that are unequivocally required for you to believe you're on a ball. There are 3 flat Earth prerequisites that must be accepted as Earth is measured for you to believe you're in a ball. I say in a ball because that's how it will be applied after the fact. Here it is on screen. You're never working from a heliocentric surface if you're describing the calculations and extrapolations to flat linear mile measurements of a radius at 3959. You're always inside a ball that's a glorified protractor, deriving its sphericity from the flat Earth elevation angle measurements of stars. So there's a multitude of flat Earth prerequisite measurements of surface level for sea level and parallel eye level and altitude that cannot be denied for you to have a sphere belief. Now, the game for the last 12 years is whistle past all of that shit and start all statements with, if Earth's a ball, well, how'd you get to being on a ball? Will you accept flat Earth surface level, sea level, altitude, eye level, parallel with it, to create the maths that infers that you're on a sphere that you can ignore because they're flat Earth measurements, and start with the presupposition you were taught in school? So for moving forward, why am I telling you this? This is why I terrify you. Because you know that if you were to face me, it would be about 45 seconds before you use the flat Earth measurement to suggest you're on a ball. That's why I scare all of you. Because you know that I'll point out exactly how flat you require Earth to be for your dumbass sphere belief.
Exactly. They've got to start, like you say, let's talk about some measurements of Earth. Where do you want to start? Like you just said, Nathan, we're going to start at the 0 degree baseline that we call sea level. Sorry, I mean mean sea level. And there's the starting point. And it's level. If they're really wrapped up and terrified at this point and don't want to accept this, then they'll start trying to change definitions of level. Or to suit their religious belief.
Alternatives do include calling the police on Nathan, calling social services on Nathan, making videos that suggest he's a child beater, putting in copyright strikes, suggesting he jumps off tall buildings, suggesting he has his balls removed. These are other alternatives that wankers like Wayne from the map reading company have exercised.
But you can't assert a different definition for level, else you got to throw out the Earth curve math.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, forgot about that.
One moment.
Any more comments? If not, I'm going to round out the live show. Fun has
Well,
been
can
had
a
fun.
measurement be challenged?
No, it's not a debating point, and it's not a definition. It's not scientific validity. It's just a measurement. If you want to decide, for example, that you don't like miles, as I said on yesterday's show, or you don't like horizontal linear miles, so when you're deriving 8 inches per mile, the mile's meant to. No, it doesn't work. You all require Earth to be measured flat in miles. That's how it's measured. Like on the little scales on maps. That's how we measured Earth. Any more for any more?
Yeah, like the previous guy, sock account saying Nathan reifying on screen, sea level must be level? Question mark. Why? Question mark. Not because of evidence, because definition. These people are delusional.
There's a measurement. It's an average, right? Sea level being level is not a definition. That's not me defining it either, even if it was, right? Sea level's an average measurement. That's what it is. It's a measurement. Now, you can contest it and say, I don't like it. Okay, well, it's a good job you fart-sniffing Batman T-shirt wearing wankers aren't the arbiter of these things, eh?
Besides, we know who you are. So take it on a hop.
Any more for any more? Last call. With that, I will say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you to all of you who liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, hit me up on PayPal, Patreon, all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
But when you measure it flat, it contradicts that. I'm spitting flat facts and that. And I know you don't like that. Google Maps is flat, it presents elevation profiles like that. I'm a spitting flat earth king. Sentence has a ring, doing my own thing. If Earth was a big roast chicken, factually finger licking chicken. We just got the measurements missing. I'm spitting eggs and begs, begging the question lesson. I've said it before, time after time. I'm the spitting flat earth king of rhyme.